If you own a rental property or a house you don't live in anymore, and if you're wondering if it's still worth keeping as a rental, then this video is for you. My name is Ann, and I'm with Flock and Company Real Estate. My brother Adam and I work with a lot of absentee owners, inherited properties, and tired landlords here in Central Florida. And honestly, we've dealt with many of these issues ourselves. So, first of all, understand I am not anti rental property or anti landlord. I'm talking specifically to the people who are thinking about whether it's time to sell that property that they don't live in. And one of the first things that comes to mind is if the property is constantly needing repairs. Maybe you just had some rough tenants that were in the property and the doors got beat up and they need replaced, or maybe they even started tearing up the LVP flooring that was in there, like Adam and I experienced with one of our rental properties not too long ago. That might be a reason for you to look into selling it. Okay. Another reason is maybe the numbers don't make sense anymore. Maybe the taxes have gone up too much, or it's been vacant too long, or the turnover you have to do to get it back into shape to rent again just isn't going to be worth it. So a lot of owners think they're making good money until something like the roof or the AC comes up, and then it wipes out a year or two of profit. Another reason is you could be mentally exhausted. At some point, Adam and I realized we were spending too much time thinking about a house we weren't living in. So if you find yourself constantly worrying about that property, it might be time to sell it. Uh, Also, if it has a lot of deferred maintenance, if the roof replacement is coming up, maybe the HVAC is on its last year or two. In Florida, plumbing is a huge thing, plumbing leaks. If the kitchens and bathrooms are outdated and maybe things are starting to fall apart, tile only lasts so long before it needs to be replaced. Those are all viable reasons about why it should be time to sell it. Because if you pay out of pocket to replace all of that, it will take years in order for you to recoup any profit out of the property. And the final reason is maybe you just don't want the property anymore. A lot of people feel guilty about selling rental or an inherited property, but holding on to it sometimes creates more stress than a benefit. And that's where Adam and I were. Some of our rental properties, they were the very first ones we bought when we started our business. And it felt a little sad to sell them. But at the end of the day, we knew we just didn't want to deal with the stress of them anymore. And we just weren't making enough profit to make it worth it, because for the amount of months that we had good months where steady money was coming in, it would also be followed by a steady stream of months where repairs were coming in constant. So it just didn't feel like enough to keep them going. All those reasons that I just talked about are why we built Flock and Company, to help people through these difficult types of situations. We know how to list the properties as is. We are able to help you prepare for market. If the property is still full of belongings, maybe the tenants moved out but they left everything, we offer services to help you get it cleared out. We can also connect you with local contractors like roofers that we've built relationships with. We also have a list of direct buyers, so if you don't want to list it on the market, we can get it sold for you and do all of the legwork. Our whole goal is to help make this process easier for you. So if you own a property you don't live in anymore and you're trying to figure out whether it still makes sense to keep it, call or text us. We'll help you look at the options and figure out what the next best step is.